Setting up your meeting.
Meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
All right.
We did it. Did we do it?
I think we did it.
Okay.
We did it.
That's
all right.
It says we're live on Facebook. Hello, Facebook.
I know it's always like that lag, but we're here.
Okay. Well, and then we watch them later, and there's like 30 seconds of all of us being like,
yeah. It's like, what is... No, but we're here. Well, hello, world. It is we, Princess and Karen, Feminist Erotica. It's a Friday night. You know we do these things monthly. We are not joined by Jared tonight. They are moving, and we wish them all of the Godspeed and warmth and safe roads and all of those things.
Out here in these streets. Amen.
Amen. I just got the visual of Jennifer Lewis singing that song. I need to revisit that.
I don't want nobody fucking with me in these streets.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
You are watching our special first Evil Valentine's event. It's called Rec Please. Karen, can you tell the people why we called it Rec Please?
Initially, thank you so much for asking, Princess. I'd love to. So initially, that was going to be a pun about Check Please, the television show on public television here in Chicago, in which four strangers pick their favorite restaurants, and then all of the rest of the people on the show go to each other's favorite restaurants, and then they're in the studio and they talk about how they felt about their meals. And it's people all over the city. A very young Barack Obama is on an episode back in the day, right? And it's entertaining in so many ways. I think Opana Singh is hosting it again. It's entertaining in so many ways because people are so polite because they're in Chicago, but they're also kind of dragging other people's favorite restaurants. So there's that. So the notion initially was going to be that you, Jared, and I were going to pick our favorite queer movies, and we were gonna Check Please it. We're gonna watch each other's, and then we're gonna talk about it. And then we decided not to. But I really like the name Rec Please, so we're still calling it that, even though that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, branding is everything, and if we can make it a pun, absolutely.
That's right.
I also think part of the reason why we didn't necessarily go with that format is because finding quality queer movies is just traumatizing, horrendous, inaccessible, so many
Dehumanizing,
things.
Yes.
Dehumanizing, that's a good one. So yeah, we're here. Jara was kind enough to record a snippet of her talking about the movies that she watched and gave feedback on. Also, if you are here with us and you are in the comment section, drop a comment, let us know that you're here, say what up. Jara is on Sunday, which is actual Valentine's Day. She's going to live tweet a movie that we pick. So I guess during this hour, we should pick a movie for them to watch once we get through our spiel of shenanigans.
Yes.
Lit.
Yep.
Before I get super, super far, I want to not forget one of the big things that I want to throw out and announce to the people, because I know you guys are chomping at the bit. We have a wildly successful book club that is attended by thousands of people on a Zoom call.
Thousands of people, Princess?
You heard me. Thousands of people pack out our Zoom call, and it is like a college course. Everyone's sitting in front, They've read the material, they have their notes, and we analyze the text front and back, and we say a lot of smart people things. And if you have not been in the book club, you haven't had a chance to listen to any of us say smart people things. But lucky for you, next month we have an incredible book that we've chosen for our book club. Karen, can you give me a drum roll?
Oh, a drum roll?
Yeah.
No. Oh, actually, no.
Oh
No.
my god. You could have did it on your
I know,
it's
but
fine.
I
It's oily hands. You know, I'm trying to make this a thing and you are not following in the fine. I'll get it. The March Book Club selection that we will be reading as a very attentive class is
oh, Lord Jesus. Yep.
A Lover's Mercy by Fiona Zed. I know, right? I know. You are all fans of Fiona Zed. I know. If you have been living on Mars, number one, how'd you get there? Number two, Fiona Zed is an incredible writer. She writes novels and she also writes graphic novels. And we will be reading the graphic novel edition of A Lover's Mercy. It was my choice to read such edition. I love graphic novels. I love the storytelling of graphic novels. We've been reaching out and talking to Fiona. She's very excited that we chose her book, and we'll be talking with her like we always do with the authors. So if you want to read along with us and look at pictures and soak in the majesty of
Nice.
A Lover's Mercy, check in with us. We're going to drop the Eventbrite link where we usually do, and we will share it to the socials, and you guys can hop on with us. The book club meeting will be, I believe, March 31st. It's like way at the end of the month. So you guys will have a plethora of time to read through it, to get your copies, to catch up with the class, to put your notes together. The book club people are like, who is she talking about? Who does these things?
I was about to like put a little asterisk at the end of this commercial to just say that there's also a tiny, like a 2 to 99% portion of the class that has not actually read the book, doesn't know anything about what we're talking about, and shows up just to hang out with us and talk shit. I mean, it's just that when like anywhere from 2 to 99% of the people in the book club have not actually read the book.
The first lesson of the class is sarcasm. So
I thought it was we don't talk about the first lesson of book club is we don't talk about book club.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes. So really excited about that. Get your tickets, look for the Eventbrite link. It's going down. Now, back to the method at hand. No? Oh, I thought you were going to jump in with the lyric. That was me.
No.
Evil Valentine's Day. I am going to let you drive this bus.
Are you now?
Yeah. Because I feel like you have a lot to give, and I want to delay my angstiness as much as we can for right now, because we want people to keep watching and listening.
I will say just a little behind the scenes for y'all that when we were talking about this episode, you and I had an exchange where we're like, we might need to just call this Two Angry Black Lesbians and Jara. And Jara couldn't make it. So now, y'all, what you're getting really is just Two Angry Black Lesbians. And you're welcome.
Surprise!
You are welcome.
Better than roses and
What a
chocolate.
delight. What a delight. So much better than roses and chocolate. So, okay, why are we angry? Because as we were thinking about, of course, as you said, as we were thinking about like, oh, what's in the queer canon for us? What do we love? What are we watching? What do we go back to? We just got angry. And I almost want to call this list of rules that you said before we came on the McDowell test. So what's the McDowell test of queer rom-coms? Number one.
Black people.
Number one. Black people.
Where are the blacks? Number two, where are the queers? Number three, are they actually, or do they actually end up in love at the end?
Alive, in love, not institutionalized, not like can we get a happy ending up in here for our queer Black people?
And unfortunately, listenership, there are not too many movies that pass the McDowell test. I don't grade on a curve. So they, as we were looking at, and I did my research, like, let's talk about it. I really did try to find something. And if you guys have heard or seen of something that you think passes the McDowell test, absolutely email us at Feminist, Erotica at rebelliousmagazine.com. Reach out to us via socials. Let me know.
Yep.
Because I personally need it in Black History Month to see some queer Black love. Preferably that are women. That's another thing. Like, whew, that makes it harder, right? Yeah. I'm sorry. Again, not grading on a curve. But yeah, man, looking for those criteria in movies is just not happening. And as such, I don't necessarily have movies that I would recommend for folks to watch with Bae on Evil Valentine's Day.
I do. I'm just going to let that sit. I'm going to let that sit, that pronouncement sit for a minute. That's very sad. I also will say, in thinking about this, of course, we had to expand beyond movies. Like, we went through the movies real quick. And so I started listing other things. And I do want to say, Jamal Jordan, who we do both know, has a book out. He works for the New York Times, photographer for the not even a photographer for the New York Times. What does Jamal do for the New York Times? I don't know. Has a book out called Queer Love and Color, and it is these absolutely stunningly beautiful portraits of queer folks of color, I think all over the world, but they're really beautifully shot and just shot in a way that we don't get to see ourselves shot a lot, like photographed, captured a lot. There's some folks from Chicago in it. So Queer Love and Color, I will drop it in the chat if I can find the chat. Sometimes I'm a boomer sometimes on these calls. I'm like, wait, how do we?
No. Yeah. I also think it's important to point out for Jamal's book is there are also a lot of older Black queer couples in that book. We, due to visibility, we tend to see a lot of the younger children, but we need to know that there are our elders out here finding love late in life. It happens. There's proof in a book that our friend wrote and took pictures for that you should buy. I think it's on pre-order.
Is it out?
Is it out?
Let's say.
I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at knowing. If it's out, go buy it right now.
Exactly. Okay.
If it's on pre-order, pre-order it so you can get it when it comes out.
What you said.
Okay.
Okay, jump in. Let's get into it. So, as the elder in the room, I just want to say, I've been out here watching bad lesbian movies for a very long time now. And as I was making this list of the ones that like I could remember watching and like sort of enjoying, or that I could even remember, they are all clustered in the late 90s, which made me very sad. Like starting with Go Fish, which was 1994. And I looked up the years because I had a feeling as I was listening to them, I was like, these are all old ass movies. So they start in 1994 for me with Go Fish. And like the most recent one as a movie is Imagine Me and You. And that was 2005. And I don't even really remember that. I think it had that Piper girl in it. What's her name?
Yeah, Piper
Ain't got,
Parabo.
it ain't got no black people in it, but whatever. I saw it. What else am I going to do?
I think that I love Piper Parabo, by the way. She was the girl in Coyote Ugly. That's why I know her so well. I think that's part of it. I don't remember any of those movies, gonna be real honest.
None of the ones on this list?
I didn't watch any of those movies.
What?
I really try not to say things like this to you, but all of those movies came out before I got to high school.
Okay, I can't.
So, but what I will say,
I just need to go replace my hip real quick.
I did not want to say it. I'm really sorry. But I think the 90s was kind of a space for white queers to create that kind of content, and people were soaking it in because the 90s were, I don't want to say like a lot more open, but they feel like that's awakening, the sexual awakening of the 60s and 70s, the sexual identity awakening of the 90s kind of happened in the same way. I think the only 90s super queer movie that I watched at that time was Boys Don't Cry.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
And that ain't no rom-com, folks.
Ooh, no. Spoiler alert, not a happy ending.
Do not Netflix and chill with your bae and watch Boys Don't Cry.
Please don't.
Don't do that.
If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Hilary Swank is like
top tier.
But
incredible.
Ooh, yeah.
But no. Like trigger warning, fam. Don't do it.
No, don't do it.
Okay. Continue.
Wow. Okay. So now that my geriatrics have been triggered, let's continue, class. So as I look at this list, I will say, so Go Fish did have some people of color in it, and I believe the director is a woman of color, Rose Trochet. I'm going to say her name wrong. And there was like a interracial Black and Latinx lesbian couple. Like, it's just a cute, right? Set in Chicago. When I moved to Chicago a couple years later, moved back to Chicago a couple years later, like that was the neighborhood. They filmed it in the neighborhood I hung out in. It has a special place in my heart.
Right.
Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls in Love also is a biracial couple, is an interracial couple. Nicole Ari Parker. Yes. Oh, now I have your attention. Oh, now I have your attention.
I was trying to see who the director of Go Fish was. Come on. I do remember Nicole Ari Parker. My God, in heaven.
Tina from the L Word. I can't think of her name right now. I'm sorry. Ugh. Yeah. But the rest of this list, I mean, Chutney Popcorn, I had to look up the name of it. It had Jill Hennessy. It's also, actually an interracial couple. It's got Jill Hennessy in it. If you love Jill Hennessy, you should probably watch it. And then I put on this list, because I had to, the OG L Word, which ran from 2004 to 2009, which had a diverse-ish cast. Also not a rom-com, but whatever. It's all we had for a while there.
Yeah. See, that's like the overarching theme of this episode is that's all we had. Because it's all we had. Like, there were not shows depicting two Black women. If they were coupled, their partner was of a different race. I remember seeing this article by them that was
Mm-hmm.
like, Hollywood has a problem with seeing two black women kiss. And that is no more indicative than when you're actually trying to find that specific layer of work. Um, I watched OG Word. The most consistent black character they had was Kit, played by Pam Grier.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Took a second. It was like on my tongue. Um, but she was straight. And by the time we got to season 5 with Tasha,
Oh, yeah.
they managed to make a black character that they did not make black.
Tasha. She's the vet.
Yeah. I think her name was
Mm.
Tasha.
Well, and
If
I
you see
mean
me pick up
Bet
my phone, it's because I'm on IMDb.
Bet is biracial, but they don't really her race doesn't really play into the storyline until they get, I feel it, until they have kids.
You have to be listening. You have to be paying attention to like the subtle references to the fact that Bet is black.
Yeah.
If you block out the fact that Bet and Kit are sisters,
Right.
you don't know. Is she not even where? I'm like, I'm looking for her name. Where is? Oh, it's because she doesn't look black in her headshot. Uh, not gonna say her name now. But yes, her name was Tasha on the L word. Jesus Christ. Dark skin. You want dark skin. Okay, keep going, Karen.
Wow. Okay. So I just want to interject to your point. I was thinking like the only black lesbian couple that I can think of seeing when I was younger was on Women of Brewster Place. And it was terrible. I mean, terrible things happened to them, right?
Yeah,
Always
not
that.
also not a rom-com thing you would watch. Like, oof, we'll get into that. Yeah. As soon as you
Ooh.
started to say it, I was like, also Women of Brewster Place. Rest in peace to Cicely Tyson. We love you, Queen Mother. All right.
Also, Color Purple, which has a happy-ish ending, but not a rom-com. Also not a rom-com. Also, don't sit Netflix and chill. The Color Purple.
No.
Please don't.
Please read the book. The book is gayer than the movie. Uh, the movie only gets like slightly gay. Yeah. But no, not a happy ending, kids. Just want to
Does
see
it
happy
pass?
lesbians.
I don't. Does the Color Purple pass the McDowell test? Mm.
They're not, well, I guess in a way, maybe because they are kind of happy at the end, but they're not happy together. They're not happy in love.
In the book, they are.
In the book, they are.
In the book, they are.
All right. But don't cuddle up with your bae and try to read Color Purple, because it's also not going to go the way that you need it to go. Let's get into this list of characters that you pretend are queer, because I'm in it.
Again, only one of these I would say is a rom-com, like qualifies as a rom-com. Qualifies as something that you could theoretically sit and watch with your partner.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's the middle one, which is The Best Man, which probably also came out in like 1999, let's be honest. Ensemble cast, absolutely beautiful Black people, not a queer person in sight. But this is one of those movies where I just pretend that Sanaa Lathan is queer in it. I just pretend that Nia Long is queer in it, even though they're full on not. But
yeah, they're not.
I just, in my head, this is what we have to do. We just pretend they are. And then I'll go to not a movie, but a character that I also pretend is gay is Lynn on Girlfriends. I was so mad when Lynn was not gay. I was like, well, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. I contend that Lynn is bisexual.
I could see that.
Like that's just canon in my brain. Um, when you brought up the best man, gonna back up a little bit. When you brought up the best man, I imagined Nia Long as Bet. Same energies, right? Similar
Okay, okay, okay,
energies.
okay, 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 okay. Yes, yes, okay.
And that makes Elward better.
Oh, oh my God, why can't I think of her name right now? Oh
Monica
no.
Calhoun.
No.
Oh,
Bet. Oh my God, I'm so old. Bet
oh
Elward.
Jennifer Beals.
Thank you, God. Help me. I mean, I do love her. Not
Mhm,
gonna lie.
mhm.
And then the last on my list for right now of characters I pretend are lesbians, even though they're completely not lesbians, is Olivia Benson on SVU. She will always be a lesbian to me, even though she's 100% not a lesbian.
But I'd be into that too. I mean,
Oh, Mariska. I love her.
Olivia is. I don't watch much Law and Order anymore, much SVU anymore. But yeah, absolutely. You know what other idea that just popped into my brain of like characters that would totally be queer? Um, Max
Max?
from Living Single.
Max from Living Single. Yes. That's a really good one.
Isn't that nice? Just, I mean, there's an entire plot line where her and Kyle back and forth, and then they get together at the end and they have kids and subsequent whatever. But like, if you, and TC Carson is a very attractive black man and has aged like well. But if you push him out of the way, just just set him to the side. You'll come back for him. Push him.
Yep.
Just you
We'll
know,
get a happy ending for him. He'll be
it,
fine.
he'll figure it out. He's a nice man. Uh, but yeah, I think it's women in power suits. Let's be honest about it.
Well, and then we're not even going to talk. I mean, also Max adjacent, of course, is Khadijah, who I should add to my list of like people I just pretend like aren't straight. I mean, like, why would you do that? For why?
Well, we had to pretend that Khadijah wasn't straight because Queen Latifah decided that she would rather live her life through the 90s and not let all of us bask in her gayness just out loud. She was like, no, I'm just going to keep it under wraps, which I think is another big proponent of what we're looking at right now. Is like back in the 90s, black women didn't talk about it. We missed as a community Tracy Chapman and Alice Walker.
Yep, we did.
We missed it.
Slept on it.
They kept it. I am for black queer people keeping their love to themselves. You ain't got to share it. But if I was famous,
When you're famous.
sure. When I was famous and I know that there were little black queer kids who needed some upliftment, just a little, back then, I would have said, give me one reason to stay here.
Yeah.
And it's Alice Walker.
I mean, instead, what you get, of course, is there's a fiction in the space between the lines on your page of memories. I mean, she really, like, by the time you found out about that couple, she was like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
which also brings us to Michelle. Well, now we're on musicians, which I mean, I feel like when I think about like, okay, black queer icons for me, it's Michelle and Cello, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Her voice is just like sex personified. Um, my straight friends verklempt over Michelle.
Yeah.
Be real honest about that.
Yeah. take a moment of silence. And then of course I have like my list of the lesbian canon, only one of which is black. I don't know if you wanna jump in with your own outrage, but I feel like
See, I'm so bad. I'm like, what's my lesbian canon? It's probably more music than
mm,
movies.
mhm.
I just, I am the person, and I'm fine with this. Listen, it's where I got to. All right. I got lots of white friends. It's fine. My standards, I don't accept everything that Hollywood's given us. And I block a lot of it out. Because at the end of the day, like, it does not help. It does not uplift. It doesn't have staying power in the ways that, like, some of the stuff that came out in the 90s have musically, but then also, like, you know, movies as well. I think Best Man is a great example of a black film that just endures. They're bringing it back to a streaming channel.
Oh,
Did you know
that's
this?
exciting. I did not know this.
Uh, Another, the TV studios have to like save face because no one's watching them. Everyone is
Ooh.
Netflix and HBO. So Paramount is dropping their new streaming service. That's like um, CBS, MTV, BT, Discovery? Question
Oh,
mark.
mm.
Anyway, they're doing a Best Man reboot over there. Not gonna be able to see it unless you get Paramount streaming, which no one's gonna do, girl. Um,
Are they bringing the casts back together? Are they straight? Oh, that's really good.
yeah, and of course, it's gonna look like just 2 years after Best Man Holiday
Exactly.
because they all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
None of them have aged. So yeah, but I don't have lesbian canon. I think if a baby queer asked me what they should do or watch to like connect with the community, well, actually, I'd probably send them to Noah's Ark,
Mm-hmm.
but that'd be it. I mean, I tell them to look deep inside themselves.
There's a cinematic universe within you, young one. Discover it.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear that. I just added to my list of characters I pretend are queer and clearly aren't the Dora Milaje from Black Panther. Like just that all of the whole army of them, I just pretend like that's just a lesbian army and it's not, but it makes me feel better.
Well, I wish that there was a way to for y'all to see me on these camera angles because it adds to the experience. You got to be here live.
Yeah.
Um, well, if you read the comic books, particularly the World of Wakanda arc written by Roxane Gay,
Mm.
it is very clear.
Yes.
There are, I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but there's like a couple of Dora who are like in love, and it's a thing. And
Nice.
of course, there's like, the power dynamic struggle thing or whatever from doing that. But they're in love and happy, and it is, I think it will give you what you need.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've told you to go spend money on graphic novels. So there you go. Go look that up. You kids at home too. Go look up World of Wakanda, the arc written by Roxane Gay. All right.
Absurd. Wow. Okay. So I just looked at the notes and I am seeing that you wrote princesses pics that make her angry and sad. Let's get into that.
Well, because I didn't watch a lot of those lesbian movies A lot of them, I feel like a lot of them were like ensemble movies where like one or two of the characters were queer, but they weren't the nucleus of the stories. Um, so I was actually really excited when we started to get some movies that were starring or trying to tell the stories of Black queer women. Mississippi Damned is a movie that came out in 2009. The director's name is Tina Mabry. It stars Tessa Thompson, most notably, and then D.B. Woodbine, which if you don't recognize the name, you'll know him when you see his face, because he's like one of the Black people who always ends up in one of our movies, like perpetually has a job as like the angry Black man there.
Yes.
Uh, he's in that. I'm trying to look it up so I can get everybody's name. But it's a movie about siblings who live in this Mississippi town and trying to break generational curses. Three poor Black kids in rural Mississippi reap the consequences of their family cycle of abuse, addiction, and violence. Uh, Adam Clark, Malcolm Goodwin, Michael Hyatt, just, yeah, yeah. Woodside, sorry, DB Woodside plays Tyrone. That's all you need to know in that one. Um, so you have a character, the queer character here. Her name is Charlie, I believe. And, you know, it's the character, she's masculine. It's the character that receives abuse from the parent. She's been molested as a child. Um, it's the Black family that doesn't deal with the skeletons in their closet. The kids are trying to kind of rise above that. Tessa wants to go to college to be better. The other kids are just trying to find their way. So the storyline around Charlie is that she ends up falling in love with another girl, and she is like madly in love with this girl, and they're making plans to leave together. The girl also has like an on again off again boyfriend, so it's this game of like, will it, when you're watching, when I was watching, it was a game of will they won't they. Even though the straight girl is giving mixed signals at best, you know, that she's actually going to uh, be with her and create a life with her. And spoiler alert, if you've never seen the movie and you want to be surprised by this, you should stop right now and, you know, fast forward 5 minutes. But spoiler alert, the straight girl stays with her boyfriend. The queer masculine woman is heartbroken and has to kind of pick up the pieces of herself after that. She actually, I didn't rewatch it because I don't like re-traumatizing myself, but at the end of the movie, she actually ends up in a mental hospital.
This is
Like,
what I'm saying. What the hell?
they commit her at the end of it. So like, me as someone who has constantly searched for Black masculine representation, seeing that movie, I mean, it hurt like hell. Fast forward, we get Pariah, which is this heavily acclaimed film by Dee Reeves. It's got Kim Wayans in it. It's got an up and coming actress in it. I'm going to find her name in a second. And it's another one of those coming of age stories that just surrounds a little Black girl. Odepero Oduye. Apologies if I didn't say that right, but that was her. That was the lead actress's name. If you haven't seen Pariah, it's basically young queer tomboy trying to figure out life. Her mom is strict Christian, uh, church every Sunday, girls wear skirts and dresses. Her dad is, I got your back sometimes. Um, let her be who she is, but also don't disrespect your mother.
Mm.
She falls in love with a girl. They go back and forth. There are tender moments, there are not so tender moments. I think her mom even kicks her out at some point in that movie. Again, didn't rewatch it. Don't enjoy re-traumatizing myself in it. But it's another movie where at the end of it, the queer girl doesn't find love. She has to convince people that this is who she is. And then, story of perseverance or whatever. So it's like, I have a real issue. And is, why we come up with the McDowell test is like, in our Lord and Savior 2021, how have we not gotten more stories that just so like that? There's the part of like Black people having to be exceptional in order to get play in their art. I don't need like a super big storyline or whatever. I mean, some of these rom-coms that we got are recycled. They're rewashed, recycled the same ones with different characters, with different, names, but everything else is the same. So there's no reason why we haven't been able to get those now, especially starring queer women. If you want to see queer women with any kind of representation, go to YouTube because there
Yeah.
are loads of Black lesbian web series. Uh, they're not always, the production quality may not be as high. There may be some ridiculous drama in those, but they might actually be out there. But they're out there. They're representations. But I just want a cheesy rom-com with two Black women stumbling over each other in a bookshelf, and they go to get coffee, and then one runs back and says, you know, I love you under some rain, and then they ride off into the sunset. That's all I want.
We want to meet cute.
Yep.
We want to uh, some kind of mistaken identity or misunderstanding or ridiculous missed connection.
I want a first date with a flowing gown standing at the top of a staircase for the first time you've seen her without her glasses on. Like, I want the whole nine. I would be remiss if I did not mention 2018 film Rafiki. If you haven't heard of Rafiki, it was a film created by two women in Kenya, specifically about like um, two women falling in love and then the stigma and the pushback that they get from the community trying to tell them that they can't be together. From IMBD, good Kenyan girls become good Kenyan wives, but Kenna and Ziki long for something more. When love blossoms between them, the two girls will be forced to choose between happiness and safety. It was banned in Kenya. It came to America, got into Cannes Film Festival, blew up. Everybody loved it, the whole nine. It was great. I've never seen it, not for want of trying. I tried to watch it this week. And let me tell you, kids, all three of these movies that I've mentioned, Pariah, Mississippi Damned, and Rafiki, if you have a Showtime account, you can watch them. I do not. Showtime, I don't have I haven't found anyone to give me their Showtime password yet. Karen, do you have a Showtime password?
Negatory.
Okay, well, damn.
Ooh, maybe the Feminist Erotica podcast can get one for research purposes.
Totally. That'd be great.
Okay.
It's write it off on some grant money. You can also, I have a Roku. There's an app called Canopy, Canopy with a K, Kanopy. Canopy, I think, is like an open source platform that links libraries, like public library, um, if they allow. I don't know how to say it. Basically, it's like a bunch of library. What's the word? Inventories, catalogs
Mm-hmm.
are all smashed together into this Roku channel. If your local library is part of the Canopy system and you have a library card with one of those system libraries, then you can access these movies for free. Uh, you may know already, Karen and Jared are in Chicago. I'm in Dallas. While I do have a Dallas Public Library card that I use often, Dallas Public Library is not listed in the libraries for Canopy. So this week, next week, I'm going to have to figure out how I can get the closest one to me is DeSoto, uh, which is the black part of town, coincidentally. But I'm gonna have to get like another library card to be able to access these black queer movies. And while that is a level of accessibility, I don't have to pay for it, it'd be free or whatever. It's just some
Right.
more hoops I gotta jump through as a black queer woman just to see some people together. And I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. So I was thinking, if I can't watch black queer movies on Valentine's Day with me and the love to be happy, what movie, what movies would I watch as rom-coms and enjoy?
Okay.
Like, what are my go-to choices if I want to see a love story? And tops on my list is Wedding Singer. Now,
I can't. I.
I know Wedding Singer fails McDowell test.
Let's start there.
Let's start there. Uh, I'm scanning my brain for a black person in Wedding Singer. No,
No.
no, I don't
No.
think there's a black person in Wedding Singer.
Probably
But I love Wedding Singer. I love it. Like love it like I would learn guitar. Have you seen Wedding Singer, Karen?
not. I mean, Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler.
Yes.
That is literally the only thing I know about that movie. I'm sure I've seen it.
Watch it. I,
should we break it to Jara that that's the one we picked for her to watch on Sunday? So Princess and I talked for an hour about black queer love in cinema, and we decided you should watch The Wedding Singer.
The Wedding Singer. They would quit. Like, what? I'm never letting you guys do an episode by yourself again. What are you talking about? Okay. Quick reasons why I love Wedding Singer. The song that he sings to Drew Barrymore on the plane at the very end of the movie, I would learn how to play and play on the guitar. I love that song. It's so cute. Billy Idol, John Lovitz, Steve Buscemi as the drunk brother in the wedding in the beginning and then becoming a wedding singer at the end. The DeLorean, like it's beautifully 80s. I've seen it so many times that I can basically recite it. But I love it. It's cheesy, it's ridiculous, um, jokes, it's quotable. It's a very quotable movie. you're gonna laugh. It's ridiculous. Wedding Singer. Yeah.
Okay. Just a quick note, programming note. Speaking of trouble that you and I get into together, we have a comment on Facebook from Raven. Shout out to you,
Hey
Raven. We love
Raven.
you. We love you so much. Um, Thank you for watching and being ridiculous with us. We love that episode of the podcast. Listeners, scan the list for our interview with Raven Belasco about her series of vampire erotica. It's so good, and she has such great things to say about why vampires are like inextricably linked with sex and
Yep.
sexuality, and so good. So okay, and so now we're gonna jump to I hear it's confession time. Your confession is Wedding Singer. I appreciate you for that. In the absence of what we've been looking for, and in the absence of a catalog that passes the McDowell test, like my go-to, oh, so embarrassing. So here are my go-to romantic movies. One happy, one super sappy. Happy one, The Proposal. I could not tell you why I love that movie. Sandra Bullock, Ryan Reynolds, Alaska, Betty White. What are you talking about? I love that movie. It's so dumb. And the sappy one, it's both like a romantic movie I love and a movie I love if I'm like feeling sad but can't access feeling sad. I'm like, ooh, let me just watch Sense and Sensibility and it
Oh
will make me
gosh.
cry and I will have this catharsis and then I will feel better.
Oh
Not a
gosh,
black
Karen.
person to be found in I mean, one of them set in Alaska. The other one is a Jane Austen adaptation. So
Wow. I am I am not surprised by Sense and Sensibility. I was I thought you were gonna say Steel Magnolias.
that is not, oh my God, for the sad one.
Maybe. Or is it Fried
Mm.
Green Tomatoes? Is there a gay in Fried Green Tomatoes?
Oh yeah, no, it's super lesbian story. Well,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
book, maybe not the movie so much,
I
but
think
the book is
the
very lesbian.
yeah, the movie they make like the Dikey one a little like straight enough. Um it's also been really, really a long time since I've seen any of those movies, so let's be really honest about that. Um so fun fact. The Proposal, which I remember, I think I saw like once. The Proposal is forever linked with Ghosts of Girlfriends Past
Mm,
with Matthew McConaughey in my brain because they kind of came out at the same time.
okay,
When I was working in a video store.
nice.
So like I think they have similar covers. So I see them
Mm-hmm.
side by side. Um, yeah, I could see that. The Proposal was a cute movie.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just laughing like, what does that say about
I don't know.
what does that say about us? Um, God. Cause I'm like, what do I watch when I want like aside from Wedding Singer, like when I want and I don't. Oh, one thing I will say, I tried to watch the half of it, which was another suggestion that we got
Mm,
for Queer Stories. It's on Netflix. It came out maybe a year ago, 2 years ago.
sure.
My Netflix told me no.
What do you mean?
I tried to watch it. I got it started, and like legitimately 26 seconds in, it just started going like haywire. It was like, nah, I don't know. I was moderately excited about watching that because again, like queer stories.
Yeah.
I I don't want to make it sound like I'm just never watching a thing that doesn't have black people in it. But girl, I'm never watching it if it doesn't have a black person in it. It's 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 2021. There's no reason why we shouldn't have those things. And like I don't have to give my eyeballs to like what I don't want. I think culture right now is so stuck in like everyone's a mini critic because everybody's got a mini platform to say their opinions about things. And I don't want my brain space
Yeah.
having to take up all of these. Like it already holds a lot of hot takes that I read on Twitter about things that I'm never gonna watch. But I don't need to actually take time out of my day to watch those things. Like the Malcolm and Marie movie, Netflix just dropped. It's got Zendaya and John David Washington, Denzel's son, in it.
Oh, okay.
They hyped it for months and months and months. I was excited about it for months and months and months for it to come out around Valentine's Day. It was going to be great.
Mm.
And saw some early reviews. I don't know. I don't need, if I see a few people that I trust on Twitter be like, nah, girl, then I'm like, oh, okay, well, never mind. I guess I got the 2 hours back. I never have to watch.
Yeah.
But it's not like a love story. It's apparently like a re-dramatization of like the fuck shit that we all have to go through in the relationships. I don't watch that girl. I don't watch no dude gaslight a black woman with his fuckery. Like I'm not watching that. Why would I watch that? No.
This is why we need to be the head of studios so that you can say that to the person who presents this proposal to you. Like,
Netflix, if you're listening,
as
you
we
ain't
know that you
listen
do.
as you are wont to do. Strong black lead. If you just need somebody on your team to say, girl, ain't no girl.
And unapologetically black and queer lead. I feel like we're getting a lot of like, oh, I don't know what I want. No, we just want lesbians
Mm-mm. I
and queer
want them
people who know who they are and know what they want. And why is that so hard?
queers, trans, non-binary folk, just not having to deal with like the trauma of a family who doesn't want to. I want them past that.
Right.
I want them over that.
Self-actualized. Yes.
Like I don't want them going to some other white person to get. I want their best friend to be black. I want their mama black. I want their daddy black. I want black black. I don't want light black. I need chocolate black. Everybody, whole cast. I don't know what you got to do, but I mean, that's the only way I'm gonna watch it. Me and my friends too.
This episode of the Feminist Erotica podcast has been brought to you by the McDowell test. Get your McDowell test in the mail today. That was like pure black rage. Let me tell you this. So I feel like one thing we have not mentioned that checks a lot of these boxes, but is doesn't have necessarily a lot of what you might call plot involved is the Crash Pad series. Like it's erotica. You gotta like fill in a password, pay some money to watch these, but they're incredibly diverse. And their whole point is to have all of these intersections of people and all these different configurations of people and colors and all of the things. So Crash Pad is an option for you, but yeah, it's not free.
You know the thing I just realized that we've never talked about, or that I've never talked about on this channel.
Oh.
Um, I know of Crash Pad series. I never read any of it, but the video store I used to work at, it had a secret room. So I've seen some Crash Pad series, but I've never read any Crash Pad series.
I don't know that they're books. When I say erotica, I mean like, so there's the movie, like the compilation, like feature length-ish movie, and
Mm,
then it's an ongoing web series. Like they put out episodes all the time.
mm. Maybe I'm not thinking of the right thing. What I'm thinking of is porn.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah, 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 yeah,
flat
yeah.
out,
I'm
flat
using the
out.
word erotica, but really it's porn.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, what is Shinley is the director's name. Writer, director, producer. And they have like a lot of, I think the first Crash Pad movie had like just randos, not, I'm sorry to call you randos, but just like random people in San Francisco. And I think you can apply to be a couple in a Crash Pad episode. So, yes to people of color, yes to different folks across the gender identity spectrum, yes to a lot of these things. Plots, maybe not so much.
All right.
No first dates, no meet cutes. No, yeah, you're not necessarily getting a lot of that.
So there's your evil Valentines. If you want to be angry about something, you can be angry about that. And, you know, let me reiterate that if you know of movies that check boxes that we forgot, let us know. I mean, I legitimately want to know. I know there's some ones that like I didn't think of that we forgot about, I'm sure, that have black men in them. I think the black male gay bucket is, it's got some weight to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there. I may just have to check out there's a channel. I know it has its own Roku channel. I don't know if it's like on another streaming service or whatever, but the Reverie TV, there's a lot of stuff on there that I've never heard of, never seen. I feel like a lot of those titles are not predominantly black, talk a lot about like the drag scene and those
Mm-hmm.
type of things. They may have some that I haven't seen. I may take a run down that rabbit hole to see if there's anything. But hit us up on the socials. Let us know what you watched. Email us feministerotica at rebelliousmagazine.com. Let us know, because my evil Valentine's Day is evil.
It's
It's
evil and
angry.
it's angry. It's pretty full of rage. It's red both because of Valentine's Day and it is red with fiery rage.
The blood pouring from my eyes of all of the interracial couples we have been inundated with over the years. You can't see, but I'm drawing the blood out of my eyes. You
I
guys.
mean, disclaimer, I'm in an interracial relationship. I'm just saying I'm with you on that.
Yes. We love
There's
Sam.
Sam, you're a white you pass the white person we like test. But yeah, we just really would like some other options as well.
All right. We're ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
Um, you cannot answer this question. Do you have Valentine's Day plans?
Do I?
Yeah.
So we keep getting alerts on our phones in Chicago not to leave our homes because it is dangerous to be outside. It is dangerously cold outside, perilously cold outside. So my Valentine's Day plans currently include a Zoom date with Sam, and we're gonna watch a bad lesbian movie. I don't know which one, but
Oh, what are we gonna make Jara watch? We can't in good conscience make her watch Wedding
The
Singer.
Wedding Singer.
We can't make her do it.
So let me real quick read, just for the record, let the
Mhm.
record reflect that I did read my list. So Go Fish, Incredibly True Adventures of Two Girls in Love, Bound, Chutney Popcorn, But I'm a Cheerleader, Better Than Chocolate, OG L Word, Imagine Me and You, and then I threw in the Big Gay Sketch comedy show, which had a young Kate McKinnon. I will also mention Xena and Desert Hearts. And then your list.
I would love to hear Jara expound on the lesbian overtones of Xena.
My God. Oh, that's hilarious.
If you haven't seen Xena Warrior Princess, man, it is Game of Thrones without, not it's not no, scratch that, because it's not even that. Like, Xena's like loosely based on like Greek and Roman mythology.
Yeah.
What's that dude? Hercules is in it. Kevin
Yeah.
Sorbo. It's like a crossover
Right. She was a
thing
character
sometimes.
on Hercules, and she got her own series. Yes.
Yeah, spinoff. It's incredibly better. It's better than Hercules.
Oh yeah.
It also continues to be better than Hercules because Lucy Lawless owns Kevin Sorbo on Twitter
All the time.
often.
Yeah.
Like, anytime he says some ridiculousness, she's like, or you would not be a flaming idiot racist. But yeah, so Xena's like this warrior princess. She's got like the hardware bra and the skirt. She manages to whoop a lot of ass in heavy clothing. Um, and there's like a girl that she takes with her everywhere. I forget how they meet, but it's like they decide to go on these journeys together. What's that?
Gabrielle, I feel like she saved Gabrielle, like Gabrielle's village was on fire and being pillaged or something, and she saved her, and then they like became sidekicks.
Yeah,
Like she became her sidekick.
yeah. It's one of
Hmm.
those things where like they're sidekicks, but there's only one bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm.
So, yeah, I vote that we make that we make Gerald watch 3 episodes, an hour and a half of Xena episodes that definitely have both Xena and Gabrielle in them.
Okay.
She's gonna be like, what?
What?
I mean, I would choose Imagine You and Me, but she already watched it.
Oh. Hmm. Okay.
So, that's my thing. We're probably going to. So, if you want to hear Jara's take on that movie,
Okay.
Imagine Me and You,
Okay.
we're going to plop it in right after us in a small interlude. And yeah, we hope you enjoy it. As always, coming and hanging out with us. We are Feminist Erotica. We're just a bunch of doofs with some microphones.
So true.
Thank you for hanging out with us. Have a wonderful and safe Valentine's Day. I had plans to go to a drive-in Texas. It is also really cold here. My mom told me it's going to be 4 degrees
What?
on Monday.
No, thank you.
So we will be at home.
Yep.
uh, you know, seeing what's on the HBO Maxes.
Yep.
So whatever you decide to do for this Valentine's Day, I hope it is safe. I hope you are warm. I hope you feel love and are loved. We love you if no one else does. We're going to throw it to Jared. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Thank you.